How is it going, YouTube? Malagant? We are going to be talking about crafting in Last Epoch. In my opinion, the best part about Last Epoch right now, like the most promising part about this game right now, it is the beta just launched, is the crafting, and I really wanted to talk about it as soon as possible and, give some information for the part that I have managed to collect so far. Since it's so early into the beta, if you're watching this like later on, it is possible that like stuff has changed, maybe updated, maybe some stuff added on top of the information. So please be advised about that. So basically, just like finding the sword on the floor or like this helm on the floor, you're actually capable of finding runes on the floor as well. And the runes are basically, uniting and making the crafting for this game. When you click the stash the materials, anything that has something to do with crafting just like immediately disappears. Some of them that come into the crafting materials over here, these are sort of like editing parts of the crafting, and the rest of them are coming to this list over here, the prefixes and the suffixes that you manage to find, the affixes that you manage to find for your crafting. So the crafting in this game is not necessarily like, from out of, let's say, 3 iron bars you're making a dagger or something like that. No, that's not how it is. How it is actually like you have the normal items that are like, dropping on the floor, you're finding them, you're looting, or like you're buying from NPCs and whatnot. Let's look at like this sword, this big sword over here. So if you put this onto the crafting, it says like prefixes 0 slots available, suffixes 1 slot available. So far into the game, no matter what the color is, as far as I can tell, I'm level 60. Maybe it's gonna change later on, but there is only 2 slots for suffix and two slots for prefixes available to me so far. And I can, as you can imagine, I can definitely put 1 more suffix into this. And the suffixes I'm gonna put too, as you can imagine, are the stuff on this list. And again, I found them on the floor. That is the most interesting thing to me about this game. So I'm gonna be able to, choose the last suffix for this thing. Let's say stun avoidance. So on the bottom part over here, it's probably being blocked by my camera. Apologies for that. I'll walk you through it. It says 100% chance to succeed, and it will also add 5 instability. So instability is making it so that like as you modify items, as you craft on top of the items, instability adds up, and then your item can basically break. But we are going to be talking about that a little later on. Maybe I shouldn't say break. I think it's called fractured. Fractures is definitely the right word, because I didn't necessarily see an item break so far. So when we click the forge after selecting the stun avoidance, this item will most likely, it's kind of like complete now. We have like 2 suffixes, 2 prefixes. It was my choice of like, suffix, since it was like open. But one more thing that is going on is that like we can upgrade the tiers of them. So there's like void damage. If I can close this, there we go. There's void damage on the left side, melee crit chance. So as you can see, I don't necessarily have the prefix of melee crit chance. I failed to find it apparently, so I cannot necessarily upgrade it even if I wanted to. But for the stun avoidance from the chance to ignite, let's say that like stun avoidance is more important to me. Let's make this tier 2. So therefore, like I'm upgrading the weapon more and more. It says 90% chance to succeed, 10% chance to minor fracture, and it will also add 5 more instability. So I'm gonna take my chance, 90% success. Hopefully it's gonna hit it. There it is. So we have 100 stun avoidance on this thing now. We could go for 1 more. It's 80% chance to success now. It did hit it as well. 252 stun avoidance, and you probably get the idea. Now, one thing that I'm gonna tell you is that you can take this thing, and then another item that you managed to find on the floor, a rune of shattering. You can use a rune of shattering and then click shatter, and it's gonna create 2 shards. One of them the ignite head, and the other one the void. This is complete RNG as far as I can tell. It can go all the way up to like 4 shards or something, maybe even more. I didn't necessarily see it yet. So the shards that you managed to like collect back, they're coming into your list once again. The one, and obviously since we shattered the item disappears as well. So this being said, like you can actually find a very good base, let's say a level 50 base that you would like to craft on, and let's say it is this shield right here, and then you can start working on it. Now there's a downside to it. It is obviously going to be having the prefix and the suffixes of your own choosing, And if you would like to commit into it, you can use something like this, the Glyph of the Guardian. Extremely rare so far. It's not necessarily extremely rare, but it is extremely rare for me because I've been messing around so much with the crafting, and I've been very much in love with this so far, honestly. Like this game definitely has something going on for them. When it comes to crafting, they should definitely you know, improve on this as much as they can, because this is incredible so far. So just imagining like the suffixes and the prefixes that I'm missing so far, I'm checking like every single item, because if I find something rare that I have not seen before, then I can, you know, use the rune of Shattering to try and get that out. So far the only thing that I managed to do such was like maybe I don't necessarily need to put this, but we can write mana over here. Yeah, this one was like very rare. Let me write it one more time. Damage dealt to mana before health, for instance. This one I found it on a body armor. Now managed to like break it. So one thing that I forgot to mention is that like if you start from a gray item like this one, you could definitely turn into like, you know, the magic and then the rare even, if you're lucky enough. But the disadvantage about this is the fact that like as you modify an item, you put more instability on top of it, so therefore the item will fracture. The chances are being lowered. So let's say you found this item over here, this body armor, as it is, like this on the floor, which is completely possible, and then you're like strength, vitality, void protection, HP. I really like this. I put this over here. It will start from 5 instability. So finding a very good item is still incredibly valuable. So it doesn't necessarily rely only on crafting. You're also searching for extremely good items, and if you manage to find an extremely good item, you can actually, like, you know, improve on the tiers of that extremely good item. And while you're improving on them, it will, you know, if you remember the mace or the weapon that we have destroyed, I only managed to get like, I think tier 3 stun resistance or something like that. Like it can drop like that, and then we can go to tier 6 from tier 3. So that is how it works exactly. And on top of it, like, you're also capable of removing the affixes by RNG, something like, you know, Path of Exile kind of thing. You know, you can play with the items quite a bit, and it's very, very interesting. One last thing that I'll mention is that the fractured part, if I'm not mistaken, there's some sort of like a minor fracture, which is the most common one, because I have not seen the big fracture or whatever it is called yet. We can actually like see it, I suppose. Yeah, it says like 20% chance for damaging fracture, and then 25% chance for a minor fracture. So if I continue crafting on this, those are my chances, and it's gonna hit. It's gonna success for 55%. But if I'm gonna put a Glyph of the Guardian, it's gonna say 80% chance to succeed and 20% for a minor fracture. So the minor fracture, as far as I understood, is like blocking the item from you know, being modified anymore. So you cannot craft on it anymore. But whatever you manage to craft on it, it stays, and you can continue using it, such as this weapon that I have right now. As you can see, it says like one-handed blunt weapon, and then it says fractured. So therefore, I cannot necessarily modify this further, and as far as I can tell you, there's no way to turn back from this. I couldn't necessarily find it. You cannot, in fact, even break items. Okay, I was wrong. You can actually like shatter the items that are fractured, so that is very good. I'm guessing I was mixing it with something else. I'm so sorry. Anyways, so maybe the big fracture is sort of like damaging the item at the same time. So maybe like some of the affixes are being lowered or something like that. But yeah, this is going to be it from me, I think, today. Let me know what you think about this system, like especially the part that like these are loot and they're like bound to the account. So if I would like lose this character, I'll start from the beginning, but everything that I have collected so far with this character, obviously I'm playing hardcore, so I'll start from the beginning with a level 1 character, but everything I've collected so far with this guy is in my account, so I'll be able to, you know, have much stronger leveling items thanks to these things. And in my opinion, it's a genius system. Honestly, I've never seen something like this before. And their interface, as simple as it is very informative and easy to understand as well. So I'll be talking about and making a lot more content about Last Epoch in the upcoming days. Wanted to rush with this video specifically because, in my opinion, this is like the most promising part about the game that is, you know, available to me so far, hands down. In the next parts, I'll be talking about like what I like, what I dislike about the game. There are definitely some parts that I'm in need of improvements, and I'm pretty sure it will be done also. It's very promising. So thanks for watching. I'll be seeing you next time. YouTube, peace out. Take care.